Hello, friends. Greetings of the day. I, C.C. Bushnor, private investigator, I am back with an interesting topic. Now on, there is a slight elevation in the topics as it involves subtler and therefore it stimulates your gray matter. Are you ready, friend? Yeah. Be it be war or peacetime, there the mere sight or presence of an uniformed man generates immense confidence and security in the minds of the citizens. However, the uniformed person alone do not constitute a successful military operation. Whether during a preventive operation, as in case of border surveillance and protection, or during a war, or while foiling a notorious infiltration attempt by an enemy force. Besides the uniformed persons, there is also a very important component of defense team known as secret services. We can say that most fascinating aspect ever in a military operation is about its ability to gather crucial and secret field information at a foreign land and in an hostile enemy territory. To simultaneously maintain a close watch against any kind of espionage that can be staged inside our country, targeting the important military and strategic installations. So it is in this context that the country's covert operation and intelligence agency come to the fore. These agencies are very secretive in nature. However, a broad, generalized, declassified information is available in public domain after the utility of such a secrecy ceases to exist. Let us briefly consider some of the agencies. India has a number of intelligence agencies, of which the best known are the Research and the Analysis Wing, India's external agency, intelligence agency, and the Intelligence Bureau, Directorate of Air Intelligence, Directorate of Naval Intelligence. The Defense Intelligence Agency (IDA) is an organization responsible for providing and coordinating military intelligence for the Indian Armed Forces. This agency was created in March 2002 and is administered within the Ministry of Defense. Together with Research and Analysis Wing, that is R&AW, National Technical Research Organization, that is NTRO, Intelligence Bureau, IB, and Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, and NIA, National Investigation Agency. The DIA forms part of India's nodal intelligence setup. Similarly, the domestic intelligence agencies are as follows. The Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI, which most of you are already very well aware of that. Then there is Central Economic Intelligence to gather information on economic offenses that can harm a country. Bureau of Narcotics Control Bureau, which oversees the aspect of drug-related crimes and criminals. Then, similarly, there are many other agencies which are lesser known. Now, friends, we shall look into more about these intelligence agencies and the heroes who are associated with these intelligence agencies in our upcoming vlogs. So today, let us see the aspect of corporate undercover operation or corporate covert operation. Prevalent contingency, that is the prevailing situation in the corporate sector, the delinquent tendency of the faceless offender. So remember, he cannot be easily identified. He is faceless and he has a higher intelligence. With higher intelligence is a greater challenge to the threat mitigation professional. Therefore, the conventional method of cursory security checks of the prospective candidates and interviews are not sufficient to understand the diverse aspect of the delinquent behavior of these criminals who are in the guise of your employees. Nor the artificial intelligence based application are capable of penetrating into the realms beyond all that they can see is work history and educational verification and whether he is having any criminal background by checking in the police station. So criminologists and psychologists generally agree that the type of crime or delinquency committed is proportional to the intelligence of the person committing that crime. So that means person with higher intelligence tend to commit crimes that require mental ability. On the other hand, criminals with lower intelligence are more often involved in such activities as robbery, physical assault, murder, etc. So psychologists have recognized three types of deviant behavior, that is sexual, aggressive and acquisitive. Sexual is concerned with erotic or genetical stimulation. Aggressive has to do with forceful, harmful action directed at others. Rumors, swearing, verbal abuse, assault, and vandalism, sabotage, pushing, theft, etc. are some of the examples of aggressive, forceful behavior people. Finally, the acquisitive means illegal acquisition of property without any aggression that they further the psychologists observed that the acquisitive offender is sexually free polyfocal. That means he has a capacity of focusing more than one aspect at a time. So he is more intelligent, he is more conscious, he is more he can focus on multiple things at a time. So he is a dangerous type of a person. So the acquisitive offender, they can easily adjust to the externally imposed variability of available objects. Examples of embezzlement include fraud, espionage, stealing sensitive information and bookkeeping fraud, etc. Taking the organization as a background, it is highly likely that the traits of acquisitive type personality is never revealed by just conducting an interview or a cross-verifying the academic records of the police records of a prospective employee. So, the organizations have to establish due mechanism to deal with acquisitive type of criminal as well, both preventive measures as well as the measures to investigate as they occur. If any occur, then we have to have a mechanism to detect and find out who has done that. So that's all for the day. Please share, subscribe, and your comments are due. They are most important for me. Please do comment. Thank you and Jai Hind.